Every story has an ending. Does our quest to play the top 100 courses in 10 years have a good ending? I'm Nish.
I'm Chris.
And we're here to guide you through this golfing journey. This is the Top 110 Golf Podcast. Episode 29, The Glorious Playground, Gleneagles King's Course Preview. So our mate, Bernard Darwin, who we encountered...
Guess who's back?
He is back again. Very, very simple quote he had about Gleneagles, and he said, "The beauty of the place is beyond all question." Now, this guy obviously spoke about some courses in some really glowing terms.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think coupled with what we heard from Patrick Dickinson on the last episode, visually, I think we're in for a treat. I get the feeling I'll be taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And I also get the feeling they're just never going to do it justice.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, does it?
And I think it's going to be interesting how that plays out on our rankings versus the rankings of the official top 100. Because I think I'm such a sucker for the view around the golf course as much as the actual golf itself.
Yeah. Well, this is ranked 38.
Yeah.
So it's kind of meh in the middle. I'm going to say meh. Sorry, it's meh out of 100 best courses in the British Isles. But
yeah,
it's nothing that you're going to go,
right
oh
there.
my God,
yeah,
you're playing there.
But I just think being
weird,
in
isn't
that
it, that
kind of place and just surrounded by that natural beauty, I think it's going to elevate it at least 10 to 15 places, both those courses.
I think so. I'm a sucker for a good view.
Yeah.
The golf for me with views, the golf pales into insignificance.
Yeah.
Like I had a stinker at Sillith on the scorecard.
Yeah.
Even though I had some really, really good holes, but the scorecard was awful.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
But you
still walked
came
away
away
from that and I
going,
went, oh, what a golf course. Like,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's when it becomes, there's nothing different in your view, that then becomes a bit of a thing for me.
I
I'll give
love-
an example of a course, like Delamere
Yeah.
is spectacular for that.
Yeah.
And his different views.
Yeah,
and
I just love that those kind of undulations, and I'm a sucker for not like a really raised green where it's stupid and it's just mega high up and like reddish 18th.
Third at Sillith and reddish 83rd. Well, which is one of our dream 18 holes.
Yeah, exactly. That's just that nice little kind of raised green, just sort of 20, 30 yards raised up. I just think that just adds a bit of majesty to I don't know, just makes you feel like
I feel like
in amongst it.
What we've played 6 courses. This is going to put us up to 8.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time we maybe close out this year, which will get us up to 16, 17 courses, get the golf out of this, I think we're going to have a really good understanding of what we like in a golf course, actually.
Yeah.
Just from having these chats.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out otherwise, does it?
No, it's not something you talk about generally, is it?
And I suppose it's links heavy, the list.
It is. I wonder what...
Or is it? Because there's a lot of courses down around that kind of
like
Wentworth
London
belt.
Yeah, you've got
They're
all the kind
inland, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
Heathland
that's
ones.
a chat for another time, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this is ranked 38 out of our list.
Yeah.
We've obviously watched... So now we're on the King's course.
Yeah.
This is the
big boy.
the big one. Still not big, because what is it now? We've got... It's a par 68.
Yeah.
6,125 yards off the yellows, which I think is what we'll be playing off. That's not long.
It's not. So it must be the
Very
shortest
short.
we've played so far, I think, still. Apart from the Queens, obviously.
So interesting that, isn't it? I think maybe a lot of stuff is still in play. I wonder with this as well that the 2 courses together. Bryson DeChambeau very famously said, didn't he? Like he recommends to everybody at some point in their golfing development, play off the forward
the kids' tees, yeah.
Yeah, and just try and score. Get used to shooting birdies and pars and going for eagles and things like that. Have that in your head.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to be doing this, by the way. That's
we
not what I'm
definitely
suggesting.
are.
However, what is interesting is it going to keep us interested? Do you know what I mean? During the whole round, rather than you're not holding on for dear life necessarily. I felt like I was doing that at Woodall Spa.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas this one is like, actually, we can have a
We
go
can
at this.
score here. Yeah, even if you drop a couple of shots, you can make it back, right?
Yeah, that's
You've
it.
got short par 4s to have a go at.
But this is the great thing about this podcast, Chris. Normally these conversations happen in my head, and then later on you go, do you know what? I was thinking that this might be one of those, but it's out there now, isn't it? He was thinking he was going to shoot eagles and whatever. Like, look what he ended up scoring. Yeah, but I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
I watched another podcast. There are others. This is non-golf related, and one of the main subjects they were talking about was like, why are you doing it? And we said, didn't we, at the start, like, we're doing it because we're documenting it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Something to look back on. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
we're putting it on YouTube. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Your kids look back on it in 30 years' time and go,
I hope not.
they were shit at golf. Look
A
how
Guinness
bad
in one
they
hand
were. Yeah.
and a rum in the
It's
other.
a Guinness Zero. Come on, Chris. You can't claim that. Like that, having it there for that and these discussions,
Yeah.
we would never remember that. In 10 years'
Yeah,
time, we're not going to
absolutely.
remember going, did you remember? You said that Queen's course was like a par 3 course and you shot 120 on it, that kind of thing. You said, oh, it's really nice to play a short course, and actually you ended up like doing the worst round, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff that we're going to be like. We talked about Peter Alice in the last episode, but we're going to be like Peter Alice, aren't we? Just like wispily remembering all these things from the past. So, a couple of things I've picked up about the King's course, more so than the Queen's course. There's more videos about the King's course than the Queen's.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the more sophisticated course, isn't it? Obviously, it's much higher up the rankings. I think it's probably, but yeah, I think it's probably more revered by people. So there's a bit more content out there, isn't there? I think on it.
I've written 3 words here. I didn't actually mean to put these in.
Is this the location of where of the first tee on the King's course?
What
these 3 words?
I didn't mean to put these in capitals, like block capitals, but actually it's worked out really well for this segment of the podcast. So the 3 words are undulations, lush, and gorgeous.
Right.
And I think that sums up the videos when you look at them. You look at those holes.
Yeah. I think it describes me pretty well as well, to be honest, Nish.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good job this is an audio-only version, but yeah, I think that is a magical place to go and play your golf, doesn't it?
It does.
And that scenery there, the middle of Scotland, Perthshire.
Yeah.
Perthshire and Perth and Kinross, isn't it? The area's called. And we drove through there on our way to a wedding just a couple of weeks ago, and brilliant, amazing place. And actually, I'm now getting used to this a little bit now, which it wasn't before. It was just turn up at a golf course and that's it. And you go, oh, wasn't it wonderful? Like, you're looking at places going, oh, it'd be nice if there was a little par 3 there. Or it'd be nice if you could use that curvature in the land to have a long sweeping par 5, that kind of thing.
I think one word that I've seen quite a lot come out of reviews and stuff of Gleneagles is the playground. And I think it almost has that kind of playfulness about it, doesn't it? I think just look at some of these courses, it's kind of, it's probably a bit more niche in terms of the way the golf course is designed, because it's got, and it's probably not to everyone's taste, to be honest, the kind of undulations and the rolling hills and the raised tees and the raised greens and the blind shots. But for me, that's like right up my alley.
I wasn't expecting that much undulation. I don't know why, because it is in those kind of rolling Perth hills, isn't it? So it should have undulation and it should fit in. I think that was one of the reviews I did read said, you don't know where is manufactured and where is natural contour.
Yeah.
That's how well it's been integrated into the land.
Yeah.
What a compliment that is for a golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for he doesn't need it, but it's the chap's called James Braid, if anybody's ever heard of him, but very famous golf course designer. And this course opened in 1919, so 2 years after the Queen's course.
Okay.
If he would have heard that from whoever said it, he'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I was going for.
I assume, I don't know the answer to this, but I assume there's a royal connection there for the kings and the queens, but I don't know the answer.
I'm guessing. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, that whole kind of playground thing, the glorious playground, whatever, it's the resort is like, there's shooting there, there's all sorts of outdoor pursuits, fishing, all this kind of stuff. So it feels like it's a very kind of regal, aristocratic kind of place.
Yeah.
It's obviously not now because they've let us in.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to bring it down a peg or two.
Yeah. There's obviously that connotation to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shooting lodges and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must be some. I mean, obviously it's called the Kings and the Queens course, so.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that? Is that James Braid, was he a big royalist or something? We don't know.
Maybe.
But we are playing the King's course as we are playing with the Queen's course. It's back to back.
Yep.
We're playing with members, which is always a treat.
Yeah.
And we're playing with Hendy. We mentioned him in the last episode. I'm going to name check him here because the man's a legend. Just character, full on self-made man. And I think we will really enjoy our 2 days chatting to him.
Yeah, just without the golf, just kind of
without the golf,
listening to the stories.
I was at this wedding and I ended up talking to him more than anybody else.
Right, okay.
My wife's there, so he's just one of life's good guys.
Yeah, good.
Enjoys a good time as well.
Nice.
Now, one of the things he did say to me, which I found fascinating, like properly fascinating, was the way we'd gone about booking Gleneagles was we knew we wanted it was once in a lifetime opportunity,
Yeah.
and we were gonna stay there, take advantage of it, and actually have a proper stay.
Yeah.
Because it's silly otherwise. I think just you're going all that way up,
Yeah.
and then you're not doing it. Now, as a result, so we've had my previous not false starts, I'll call them, in trying to schmooze my way to some kind of preferential treatment in some way, shape, or form. So, to the lovely lady who was on the phone who took my booking, I don't know why I put on the finest Queen's English. I was
hello there.
fully enunciating
It's
everything.
Nishant.
Yes, it's Lord Nish from Manchestershire. And so I said, now I cringe about it now, and I think because that's so burned on my memory about this. Because I went up in the bedroom to talk about it. I didn't want Emma to hear me, hear me talking, and I was like, obviously we're staying the night in the hotel.
Are we
Now,
gonna be? Is this like when we get to Gleneagles?
Mate.
Is this character just gonna come out and this
don't
is just
think
gonna
it
be
is.
there with like his smoking jacket on?
Like,
Going, oh, hello
um,
there.
tweed blazers, and that's why I'm growing the beard and the tash. I'm going to
You have
shave
a
it all
little,
off. I'll have a little tash just going up,
nice little
curling
Frenchie.
up, flat caps, the lot. Yes, so she was just like, I was like, so now, really sorry to ask, but I feel it'd be remiss of me not to ask. Now, I never use the word remiss. The only time you're using it is when you're trying to be posh, right? So I've gone, it'd be remiss of me not to ask, but is there any chance we are coming to play golf? We're coming to play with a member.
Yep.
Now, we know he can't book his tee time till 3 weeks in advance of the actual day. But I'm just wondering, because obviously we're coming from such a long distance, it'll be great for us to know what the tee times are already. So is there any chance that we might be able to just reserve some tee times and we can sort everything out later, whatever?
Yeah.
And I hadn't even finished saying the sentence, which in my head I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's going to happen? What's she going to say? What's she going to say? She's going to tell us to bugger off, whatever. And she's just gone, of course, sir. There's no problem with that at all. Do you know your playing member's name? And I was like, Uncle Hendy. I was like, I'm really sorry. I don't actually know his first name. Like, I know his last name's Henderson, but that's it.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry. What we'll do, we said in the last one, but let's say it again. 41st best hotel in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, service, we're expecting to just be second to none.
Yeah.
Well, second to 40 other hotels, sorry, I should say. But she, like, didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
So well practiced to know what she's doing. She was straight to it. Of course, what we'll do, sir, for you, it's absolutely fine. I'll look at the tea time availability.
Yeah.
We'll book you in for a residence rate because you are staying in our wonderful hotel anyway.
Yeah.
And when the time is right and the time is opportune, Uncle Hendy remembers the name, everything.
Yeah.
Uncle Hendy can give us a call and he can add himself onto the tea time
Yeah.
and it'll be sorted, no problem. And I was like, oh, wonderful, that's amazing, no problem, thank you very much. And she's going like, I'm running through. She goes, oh, yeah, slight problem. Oh, here we go. Right, what's this now? We've got your postcode and we've done a Google
background check,
satellite Google map show. We've done a credit check. We've done a soft credit check on you. And she went, oh, we do have an event on the King's Course on the first day that you arrive, which is a Friday. So we don't have anything teeing off on the King's Course till really late in the day. I was like, oh no, we're actually eating in the restaurant, so that's probably not a good thing for us to do, and we're going to lose the light anyway. And she goes, but I'll get you on the Queen's first. A wonderful course. We'll get you on the Queen's first. Probably a good preamble to the King's. Okay, yeah. She's just receptionist on the hotel, right? She's got to pat her down to a T. And then she goes, and then I'll have a look then what's on the for the King's course the next day. So yeah, great. So she's booked us these tea times. So I think we're teeing off at 11 and 11:40 or 11 and 12, something like that. Anyway, so I booked all these things, and I've messaged Hendy to say we're in. We've actually got tea times.
Yeah.
So he didn't. He sort of said, "Oh, great, fantastic. I'll sort everything out." He then said, when I was at the wedding, he said, "Oh, it's interesting you got those tea times." So he goes, "Members there aren't really afforded the same privileges as visitors are."
Yeah.
Which I found fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating.
I mean, I guess that's ultimately kind of what it's not really there to cater for the members, is it? It's
No,
there
it
to cater
isn't.
for. It's a resort, right? To attract people
Yeah.
to come and stay at the
was it.
hotel and play golf, and that's kind of their. I guess that's their bread and butter, isn't it? Rather than someone that's paying.
So the most availability is
for
made for
membership or whatever.
visitors rather than members. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Because he was saying, so we've obviously booked our restaurants for the evening and whatever, and he said if I as a member got and you got the tea times, you got fantastic. Like I've never played at those times.
Right. Okay.
But he said if I had guests and I was bringing schmoozing them whatever, and I wanted to then book after our golf, I wanted to book some food
Yeah.
because they know I'm a member. They will almost immediately say to me, "I'm really sorry, we can't get you in for any dinner till 9 o'clock."
Oh,
Because
really?
even though I'll walk by at the time that I'm there and it'd be empty
Yeah. Yeah.
because they want to leave it available.
Right.
So he was like, it's a strange
Yeah.
strange
Yeah. Totally
place in that
dynamic.
respect. So he goes,
Yeah.
we basically play and we go. We play, we have a drink and we go.
Yeah.
So I find that fascinating, really, really
Yeah,
fascinating.
it's
But I suppose it's
interesting, isn't it?
resort golf. You're right.
Yeah. It's not.
You
It's
know,
just not there to cater for that kind of.
but I mean, I'd love to be in that position to be treated as a second class citizen in a Gleneagles.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have that.
Still way better than any other golf course.
Now, I mentioned this in the last episode, so for regular listeners, pardon the repeat. If you've only heard this one, why have you only heard this one? You should be listening to other episodes. But I went there for the Ryder Cup, and I'm really looking forward to that. For that, just kind of that approach. We were on coaches,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So I remember the Gleneagles estate sign and all this kind of thing. What struck me with it is that the branding. I'm quite into this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the branding is quite modern. Like there's some bits of the website and things like that have got that, they've got like traditional fonts and things like that, like
Yeah.
frilly fonts and whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, like Gleneagles signs and things like that, when you actually get to the estate, and you'll see this when we drive in, we'll see Gleneagles in a big there's a big G modern logo. It's really modern.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a couple of the guys that I've been chatting through on Instagram, just with who know more about Scottish golf. So Mark, who's been on the podcast,
Yeah.
Paul, who we're going to go and play up at Carnoustie with,
Yeah.
and it feels like golf in Scotland is less stuffy.
Oh, I
Generally,
think it definitely is. Yeah.
like it's real. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's here for people to play.
But I think also just like in Scotland, not everyone, but there's a huge proportion of people that play golf, right, from every kind of
Yeah,
walk of
yeah.
life. I think it's just a bit
Yeah.
more. It's definitely you don't get as much of the snootiness, I don't think, in Scotland. I mean,
100%.
sure you get some of it, but
I
definitely
think
not
there's
to
a
the
couple
levels you get in
places
the UK.
that have come up. I won't name the names. That's not fair on them really, but a couple places have come up, which I understand. They're really exclusive private clubs. People
Yeah.
are paying $100 a year to be members. I found that really interesting, and it was Paul actually who said to me, because we were talking just about some of the courses down south and things like that, and he was like, "Oh, none of that appeals to me." Now he's
Yeah.
not trying to play top 100; he's just trying to play all the golf courses in Scotland, as you do. But he's doing that for kidney research actually, and it's a wonderful story. So that
Yeah.
I've donated money to him, and again he was very kind to donate not donate, sorry. Feels like it a little bit, but he was very kind to invite us up to play in Carnoustie with him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we got onto. We got onto tire on the golf course, and I was like, oh, shorts and whatever. And he goes, I've played everywhere, and I've played some of the best courses in Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I've worn shorts. He goes, if there's a course in Scotland that doesn't let you play with shorts, nobody's going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because I know we don't get the weather that often, but
Yeah. Yeah.
if the fact that is a rule,
Yeah. Yeah.
immediately most people go, I'm not going,
Not
because
bothered.
that's how we are. Like, we will just say we're not tolerating that. We're
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
going to go. And I love that
Yeah.
about Scottish golf. Is like, it's the golf you're there for.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting just thinking about that kind of exclusivity and Scottish golf.
You struggle with those
I really
big T
do
words,
those
don't
big
you?
words, especially ones I've got.
Exclusivity and inclusivity. That's
Yeah. I'm just not very inclusive. So yeah, so next to so this is something that I've kind of picked up in a little bit of research that I've done. There is one very, very, very exclusive golf course
right.
on the Gleneagles estate. It's not quite on the Gleneagles estate though. It's just next door.
Right.
So it's not part of Gleneagles, but apparently from the course, from a couple of vantage points on the course,
Okay.
you can see another golf course.
Okay.
So this other golf course is it must be the most exclusive golf course in the world. I think there's only 2 people that have ever played it,
Reddish
plus
Vale.
a few friends. Reddish Vale.
Yeah.
It's
Done.
not Reddish Vale.
Yeah.
So next to Gleneagles, there is a whole estate that this guy, so he's from the UAE, basically multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, whatever. He bought this plot of land just next to Gleneagles,
Right.
which he then found Highland spring water underneath. So that is it Highland water?
Yeah. Highland
yeah.
Spring. So that's
his estate, and
accidental
he found the water
find.
under there, and excavated the water.
So it's got
bottled it.
oil in the UAE and water in
in
Scotland.
which is effectively oil, isn't it?
Wonderful.
But anyway, so
kit.
he basically was like, right, I've got this massive piece of land. I'm going to build an estate to try and compete with Gleneagles, basically. So I'm going to build bigger and I'm going to build better, and it's going to be more plush and it's going to be
Right.
more exclusive. But anyway, so he ran into some financial difficulties around the sort of 2008 financial crash.
Right.
At this point, he'd already built the golf course, he'd built the clubhouse, but he'd not built the rest of the resort. So he'd not built the
Everything's done.
hotel. He was going to build loads of like mansions and stuff on it as well. He'd not built that.
Right.
So he basically has got this golf course and a clubhouse, which looks apparently like this massive grand mosque thing. But it's still there. It's still a golf course that's maintained 100%. So it's got greenkeepers going around, keeping it up to date. Nobody's playing on it, so no one can go and play on it apart from him and his family. But yeah, so for 12 years he's been keeping this golf course going, this
How-
championship 7,500 yard golf course.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because if you get on as well and you go, I said nobody's played this course.
I mean, it's either in terrible nick because it's not had any play, or it's an absolute pristine beauty of a golf course.
So did it say on where you read about this? Did it say where you can see this from, or is it just
Yes,
so
so I think
obvious
it's
that there?
Is it the seventh? I can't remember if it was on the Kings or the Queens course, but I think it was the seventh hole. So it was a par five. I think it might be the Queens actually. I think there's the one par five on the Queens, isn't there? Which I think is
Yeah.
the seventh. I think it's basically takes you out to the end of the estate,
Oh, and that's where it.
and that's where you can see it. It's kind of like just beyond the end of the Gleneagles estate.
Do you know
down
what?
there.
I'd love it if Hendy and Colin don't know about this.
Well,
We'll hit
I
'em with
think you
that.
can see it pretty with you can
Oh,
see
is
the
it
golf
that right?
course
Okay.
pretty easily. So I think they will know about it. I'm sure.
Why aren't we playing there? Hendy?
Yeah.
Well,
Can you
that,
get us in
what's,
there?
that is crazy, isn't
That's
it?
wild,
So what's it
isn't
called?
it?
The Ghost Course or something it's
Mm.
called.
Ghost course. I think it has got a
Is
name.
it something you can like get on maps and you can scroll in and
I
zoom
mean, there's
in
certainly
and see
pictures of it. Yeah, so it's called G West. The name of it.
West, that's a
Go-
crap name, isn't
It's a
it?
crap name, but I mean,
Are they trying to go with Gleneagles West or something?
yeah,
That's what-
yeah.
I mean, wow. There's a little factoid for you. Please tell me that they don't know that. That'd be great. That'd be great. It was always nice, I think, when you do our playing with a member to like hit them with something. Oh, I didn't know that, you know. Oh, you didn't? Oh, you need to do your research about it. Come a little bit more. Yeah, so a little bit of history about it. Now, this is Queens and Kings, but all the holes are very traditional Scottish names as well,
Yeah,
which I really like.
they're quite cute in the names, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact names now, but yeah, I quite like that. And then there is a very unique feature about the King's course. I think it's actually for the Queens as well, but it's come up in my King's course research. So the halfway hut is on the 10th hole. What's that? That's not obviously not quite halfway. So what would you call
But
that?
it's the same halfway hut, isn't it?
It's a
for
shared
both
halfway
courses.
hut,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And what you do, and I love this, like this is like me all over this sort of stuff. You call in your order
Yeah.
at the 10th tee, and it's ready for you when you finish the 10th hole.
But I just have visions of there just being like one of those kind of old school big kind of telephones, like from like the Victorian times that you just
What
pick
would you
this.
like?
Hello.
And you're like, what have you got? Whatever you like, sir. We'll be
Yeah.
able to make it for you.
Okay.
Okay. Can we have a club sandwich on gluten-free bread, please?
Or maybe it's just like totally modernised and it's just like a McDonald's drive-through. There's just like a faceless, touch screen.
Yeah. I mean, I love that stuff like that.
I mean, that sounds like it's gonna be pretty high up on the halfway house ranking system.
Yeah, I mean, is
isn't it?
this going to be basically like a clubhouse that we've seen at other places?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I think
the halfway hut
if you've got a
shared.
specific phone line to dial ahead for your order, I think that's going to be difficult to beat.
I think that's going to be tough to beat. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Plus, we get to
Love
play
it.
it twice, so we get to try all the favourites.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Mhm.
I was going to mention it on the last episode. We didn't really talk, but Sean Connery came up.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I follow them now, so obviously the news comes up all the time. But Stoke Park,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
you've heard of Stoke Park,
yeah.
where they filmed the last scene in Layer Cake as well. But that golf course and the whole hotel has been taken over and it's got
Yeah.
new ownership
It's about to
and they've
reopen, isn't it?
reopened everything
Yeah,
and you can get tea times now. Now it's not on our list.
yeah.
However, I'm flying the flag for making it 101 because that Goldfinger
Yeah,
18th hole
yeah.
when he mugs him off, that's burned in my memory as like I want to recreate that almost. I'd almost have like, and I'm happy to whoever. Like you can be Sean Connery if you want. I don't care.
I mean, I've got the looks, so yeah, why
I
not?
don't care who I am. I'll be on job. It's fine. But I want to just be there on that 18th green. That yeah, I mean, that's an aside anyway. But yeah, this calling in, I think is a great thing. But the other thing that I think we both found out actually, didn't we? But the other thing we found out about the King's Course at Gleneagles is it hosted the very first informal Ryder Cup match
Informal, yeah,
between GB and Great Britain and Ireland. Oh, Great
yeah,
Britain it was, and the USA.
yeah.
And that was in 1921.
So we thought Motown was the first Ryder
Yeah, that
Cup,
was
but then
official, wasn't it? That was
yeah, yeah.
official.
There was an
Samuel
unofficial.
Ryder has put his name to it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever. But 1921 was
Okay.
the informal first match between Great Britain
Does
and
that mean we have to do an informal match play?
what is an informal match play? Is that just
I
like
don't know. I
nobody gives a
guess.
shit, like just
Yeah, we
work it out
just
at the
go.
end?
Oh, it's probably. I'll probably 3 up.
Or just just at the end, just go,
Yeah.
oh, what did actually happen on
Feels
that?
like I was. Yeah, I was about 3 up.
Yeah. From my perspective, the only other real thing I've got to kind of bring to the table on this one is the course renovations that have been done
Yeah.
to take it back to Mr. Braid's original designs.
Yeah.
I'd actually watched a video where they talked about they'd uncovered a load of sketches that
Right.
he
Okay.
made.
Yeah.
And pardon me, and that's what helped inform
Yeah. The redesign.
the restoration, I suppose,
Yeah. Okay.
back to his original
Yeah.
work. So
Yeah.
I think it's in the 80s they'd and good time to bring it out, I suppose. But you've played there before.
I've played one of the courses before, but I
Can't remember which one.
don't know which one.
Brilliant. It was
So
that memorable.
It was that memorable. I was only a kid. I was very young, and it was like a charity golf day with my dad's work. So I suspect it was probably the Queen's course that I've played, but I don't know.
Yeah. What gives you the suspicion it was the Queen's course?
Don't know.
You just
Don't
have
know.
a feel
Just
that
it just feels like that would be the more natural place to host something like that, where there's
yeah.
people that haven't really played golf before. I mean, I literally just started playing golf at that point.
Right.
Probably
Okay.
played golf for I don't know a
So they
year
put
or
you on the
less.
fun one rather than the
Yeah,
serious
the
one,
big
sort of
one.
thing.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. But I
Yeah.
remember it was brutally tough.
Was it?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not.
Not
I was
played,
probably
but,
playing. I was probably high 20s handicapper at that point.
All right, let's not scoff at that. Yeah, interesting that. I think, I suppose we don't know, but it seems like in the 80s they obviously decided to go, let's make this hard
Yeah.
as a golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They
I think
basically brought the rough in by a lot and grew it very tall.
I brought it up in the Woodall Spa review,
Yeah.
and it was a comment I made to you on the drive back. I was like, is golf supposed to be our level?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be that hard?
Hard. Yeah.
Because surely it's not designed to break you
No.
completely. You're supposed to have moments. You're supposed to feel,
Yeah.
I can do this.
I mean, I think as I didn't get a chance to come do the Woodall Spa one, but there weren't many points during that day where you thought, do you know what, I can make a birdie here. Apart from maybe the par threes,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you've always got a
Yeah,
chance,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
Or at least I've always got a chance anyway. But yeah, I don't remember having many birdie putts that day, and that's pretty unusual for me. Like normally I'll have a few bad holes, but I'll have some
Get
birdie
the odd
opportunities.
chances, yeah.
But I don't feel like I really had if I did have them, they were long, tricky putts.
Relentlessly tough golf course that was.
It was.
But we survived it.
Yeah.
I think there's only
I still enjoyed it. I did not enjoy
Yeah,
it, but I know what you mean. Like
I said
it
the
was,
same thing to Jim. It was like it
Yeah.
was still it was enjoyable because the weather was great. We were excited about being there, and
Yeah.
actually we did intermittently play some decent golf as
Yeah.
well. But I think it was mentally that was a tough. It warranted its hardest
Oh, definitely, yeah,
rating
for sure.
I think
Yeah.
that was justified.
Interestingly for you, Nish, and we've played quite a few rounds together now, haven't we, over the last few years? I've never seen your short game as bad as it was at Woodall Spa.
Short game was bad, wasn't it?
Short game, your chipping and
Couldn't
putting
chip at all, was I? How could I? At all?
really bad.
Yeah, I
For
think my
you,
putting
like it was
putting wasn't great.
like normally your putting is solid.
It's there, isn't it?
It's there, and
I'm averaging two,
Yeah.
and that's it.
and
It's
you'll
very
and
rare
you'll
that
have a
I'll
shy at the
three
hole
putt.
on most puts.
My chipping wasn't good at all.
Yeah, no, your short game was.
I don't.
But I think you'd almost just talking yourself out of it. I think because you were hitting back, you weren't hitting good shots from tee to green. I think you were then just. I think you just lost your shit basically.
I felt like I bagged Garmin out quite a lot because I feel like this hasn't been a good investment. This watch.
Yeah.
However, I do have the club sensors.
Yep.
And then the Garmin Golf app, I think, is brilliant.
Right. Okay.
So it gives you a full like rundown, and that's what I was doing with Jim in the
Yeah.
review. Because I was like, because if it's me and you there, we sort of can remind each other and whatever. And I was like, actually, I need to visualize this a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it tells you everywhere your shots were and,
Oh, okay.
and what's around. And
Yeah.
I think the thing that did me at Woodall Spa was hole number one. Now this is gonna sound stupid.
The
But hole
first
number
shot
one
of the day.
But hole number one, I hit a bunker shot and it went across the green into another bunker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was the moment where I think subconsciously that freaked me out.
Yeah.
So from that moment, I couldn't commit
Just
to
lost
any
your
bunker
confidence,
shot
yeah.
because for whatever reason, in the back of my head, I must have just had, if you go long, you're in another bunker.
But
And then I was just still in a bunker again.
But if you watch the videos, I kept watching it all day
It's
in the
mad.
bunkers, Nish. And obviously I wasn't here to talk about this in the last podcast, but every time you were in a bunker, you'd kind of like half swing, and then you
Just no commitment.
absolutely
There was
no
no pace
commitment. Like
through
you were
it.
just like, hey, like a tiny
was.
little
That's
dink,
exactly
and
what
there
it
was no
was.
follow through. There was
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, Nish, you're never gonna get out of any of this
Yeah,
bunkers.
yeah.
Like that.
And the ones where I did get out were the ones where I've gone committed.
Fuck yeah,
and
I
actually
need to get
play
out
it.
of this bunker now.
Well, the couple of ones that I got out like first time, one was a sort of semi-fairway bunker. It was a long sand scrape basically, so I didn't have the fear factor of like I've got to get it up or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just like just swing through it, it's fine. And the other one was it was actually on the signature hole challenge when I was in the same bunker. I'd done 2 shots already, and I was like, I'm just gonna chip it out here, just like I do a normal chip, but I just went.
Yeah.
I just and it actually was the right shot. Like it worked out
I had
well.
to delete all the photos off my my phone after that round. There's so much footage of you in those bunkers.
That's all it was. That's all it was. But yeah, that did for me. I think I'm fragile in bunkers generally anyway.
Okay.
That full on did for me. Is like
Yeah.
if I do get it out, and if I do
gonna
my
be in
regular
another
and
one.
it's gone long,
Yeah.
then I'm in another one, and I don't want to do that. Well, whatever. Let's not dwell on Woodall Spa
Yeah.
now. Let's dwell on the 89 bunkers they got at the Queen's Course instead. But yeah, so we've obviously spoken in the last episode about the actual resort and the experience and how it all came about. And we go with our wives and we do it. It's a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
I think the overall package feels like we're going to struggle to better anywhere because I think a lot of other golf courses we're going to play, it's the course we're going to,
Yeah.
not the resort.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's many resort-based ones in our list actually.
Not really. It's
Maybe
like
Adair Manor.
Yeah, that's the one that springs to mind.
Yeah, it's got that kind of special feel
Special
about
trip,
it.
hasn't it? Yeah, defo.
I mean, we're obviously same again. We're obviously doing weather watch and all that kind of thing because I want my nice new Puma white shoes. I want to be able to wear those ones, but I cannot wait to get out there and
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
pick myself again. I think the undulations. I think there's going to be very few flat lies. I
Yeah.
think
Definitely.
looking at it.
And
But I like
flat, like, you're not going to be hitting to the same level.
No,
There's
I
going to
think
be a
you're
lot
gonna
of
be up,
ups and
down,
downs. Yeah.
whatever. Club selection.
Yeah.
I think we probably see eye to eye on that.
Yeah, I think definitely we.
The visual impact of that hole is really important.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the playability or the
Correct.
challenge. It's
We're not talking about that.
I think we both.
What
we
does it
both-
look like on the tee?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I excited to play this hole
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the tee?
I don't care how I play it or which way I play it.
Doesn't
it's just,
matter.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And am I excited by the challenge? Am I excited by the view? I think view probably comes into it more for me. Feast for the eyes. I keep saying that. That's the phrase for me.
Yeah.
We're like Dream 18, aren't we? We're sort of like you play 18 holes where you step on every tee and you go, oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to play. No, not like, oh, there's history with this one. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, no.
Or,
It's just
haven't they got wonderful routing on
it's
this
that,
one?
You can't explain it. It's just that feeling that you get when you just stand on that tee and it just feels. I don't know. Only golfers really know that feeling. You just go, oh my god, this is incredible.
There's a tee shot I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
There's a tee shot
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hitting again.
And hitting again. Yeah. I might as well just play my provisional now.
Yeah.
Just do it. I'm taking two golf balls up there. Yes, so Chris, is there anything else you would like to add about the
I don't
King's
think so. I think
Course?
just generally, I'm very excited to go and be around the Gleneagles estate.
Yeah, I think it's going to
Full
bring back
stop.
some lovely memories for me for that Ryder Cup. That was amazing.
One thing that I did hear and heard a couple of times is that obviously the level of service that you get at Gleneagles is incredible. But like, if you're staying in the hotel, there's just like basically buggies that'll take you anywhere. But like the practice range is quite far away because it's near the Centenary course. So I just imagine us getting up in the
Amazing.
morning,
Amazing.
chucking our bags in the back of a golf cart and go to the practice ground, please.
Yes. I'm gonna have to do that with my Tash now,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
just do that. Obviously, very much looking forward to it. Our side bet, rolling over from the last episode, is for the 2 rounds because this is another back-to-back couple of courses
So
we're
this is
playing.
one side bet over 2 rounds, is it? It's not
It's
two.
yeah, Jim's just put side
Okay.
bet lowest aggregate score over both
For both.
rounds.
Wow. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. This one, isn't
So
it?
have we agreed if we're handicap adjusting these, or we're just going full on what
I'm
we
happy
shoot?
to handicap adjust. I think that's.
I mean, I put that to Jim. I mean, do you know what? Actually, he's not here, so I shouldn't take this away from him because I know what he'd be saying. He'd be
Yeah, yeah.
he's
It's
like,
ultimately it's his choice,
it's
right?
his choice.
Yeah.
I've given him the freedom to do that,
Hmm.
and he said no, just lowest gross.
I mean, it's perfectly plausible that you would beat me lowest gross over the 2 days. That's more
On
than
handicap
possible.
or just generally?
Just generally. Like,
Yeah,
I can have a bad day, and
I'm gonna start psyching you out, and you put in.
I think you
so
beat me. There's quite a few of the days that you would have handsomely beat me, like S&A.
I mean, on points.
Austin S&A gross, you would have hammered me that day.
But Stableford,
Yeah.
I'm giving you a pasting.
Oh yeah,
To
I
be
would
honest.
imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously now your official handicap's coming at 11.1.
Yeah.
That's
11.8 now actually.
Is it 11.8 now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's mugging you off. That, isn't it? But yeah, that's made it harder for you to score, hasn't it? On,
Yeah.
on some of these courses. But
Yeah.
I mean, I say that mine's 16.6, so
Yeah, 65 shots.
still pretty tough to score that. But no, we'll keep it to the complete pros. And when the three of us are together,
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna make a note. I feel like this needs to be discussed further because I do think now we have our handicaps, it should be handicap adjusted because that's the whole point of a handicap.
Yeah.
That anybody can give anybody a game and beat them, but it's on level terms to a degree.
I honestly,
To a
I
degree.
don't think there'll be that much dip between us.
Well, what are we now? I've done the running count.
I mean,
so
apart
on
from
our
the last
side.
round and the Silith round, we've
Yeah.
both been pretty close on the scores and the days, haven't we?
I think
You must have beat me
even
at
I
Abu-
was
you beat
10
me at
shots
Abu
ahead of
Dhabi.
you at Silith actually. Yeah, you had a
Silith I had a
pretty
nightmare.
you had a disaster at Silith.
Woodall Spa, you had a nightmare, but you take those two out of it,
Yeah,
and we
we've
were
been
pretty
close, I
close.
think.
There's only
Yeah.
been a couple of shots in it either way, probably.
But I think, like Jim said, I was only 1 shot behind going into round 6
Yeah,
on the full,
yeah.
just what we shot. So
So I don't think there's that much in it.
yeah, that doesn't suit my narrative though, Chris.
Fine.
So
Let's just ignore that then.
ignore that completely. So our side bet is that, and we'll keep it to that. We'll keep
Okay.
it. Now he has though sent us the signature hole challenge.
Okay, yeah.
Now this one's called the last on the Queen's one. It was called Queenshaim. This one's called Kingshaim.
Okay.
Now I wonder if I'm saying it wrong and
it
it's
just
actually home.
Yeah.
But it is
Know that,
actually
know
written
that.
HAME on his message. So it's the 18th hole. It's a par 5.
Okay.
Jim's signature hole challenge is to do the lowest number of shots to the green.
Okay.
Okay, so let's.
So
So
there's
that's
both signature holes are the 18th then at Gleneagles.
both of the
That's
18th.
fairly unusual. Isn't
I wonder if that's because the backdrop is like the clubhouse and
it?
stuff
Yeah,
like that,
probably.
and that's
You've
part
got
of
the
it.
hotel and
Yeah,
probably the first one was downhill, wasn't it? The Queen's.
Queen's was downhill.
Is the King's downhill to the?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, the 18th hole, lowest number of shots to the green. Okay, on a par 5. All right, I think I could take you on that one.
Yeah, sure.
I think I'm going to be pretty tipsy all weekend. I mean, I've got my hip flask from the wedding. I might even just take a little wee dram out with me. I don't really know, but you had me at Bloody Mary Station for the breakfast buffet.
7 a.m. Bloody Mary.
I mean, that's got me. That really has.
I mean, you can't say no
Love
to that,
a Bloody
can you?
Mary as well.
With a hangover, yeah.
Absolutely love a Bloody
Definitely.
Mary. I mean, we're going to be hungover, Chris. There's no chance on Saturday morning we're not hungover.
No, it's unlikely.
And we won't have played since we played at Woodhall Spa.
And what did I say after Woodhall Spa? I was like, this time, Nish, I'm not just going to not play until the next one. I'm going to go away. I'm going to practice. And I'm gonna play a couple of rounds between.
Turns
then
out
and
we'll
now.
do the same.
I've not hit a single golf ball since.
No, I've not. I've been a bit gutted about that, but yeah, my hands have been itching a little bit. I have to say, I've been really wanting to get out there, but
yeah,
there's just no time.
I'm not sure I'm gonna get a chance to play before Gleneagles.
No, me
either,
neither.
so
I don't
might
think
try and
so.
squeeze a range.
Just have to make sure these elite.
Oh, actually, that's not true. I've got a lesson on Saturday morning.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we'll see how that goes.
There you go. What are you concentrating on this time?
Can I go back and have another look at swing again, just to fine tune it, tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, because your irons were great, weren't they? You just
just getting that longer stuff, just getting the weight across again, just making sure I'm doing that. And I know that that's what I need to do, but sometimes I just need
It
someone
might
to
not
tell
be
me.
as important, Chris,
Tell
though,
that
this
too.
round.
True.
So yeah.
It will be when I have to blast it 350 yards on the last hole to get onto the green to beat you on the.
Yeah, when I've
The
just
long
nudged
drive
it right to the
challenge.
edge of the green with my drive. Just gone, oh,
Through the back.
what's happened here? This is great. I love stuff like that. That's great. Right, thanks, Chris. I think that was a good preview and flavour of what's to come. Next time on the Top 110 Golf Podcast, we review our round at the Queen's Course at Gleneagles.